Hi, you guys. It's Crystal, and I wanted to just do a little video and talk to you guys about my journey with scleroderma since I've been diagnosed. And it's June, Scleroderma awareness month, so that's a good thing. So if you guys can help spread the word about it, it is a disease that the people really aren't familiar with, and even doctors. They seem to be a little blindsided when that word scleroderma comes up. They're not familiar with it. So it's usually the patient that has to educate the doctor. Seems like, with my experience. But anyway, before I got sick, I was living life, you know. I was very much in shape. I worked out every single day. I felt strong, just on top of the world, you know. But I worked out every day, and I ate right. I ate very healthy. I was very cautious with everything that I ate. No fast food, nothing like that. I just always wanted to eat healthy, and, always preferred to eat my meals, from home. And, I had a good relationship with my boys. We've gotten a lot closer, over the years. And I was in a relationship. I was engaged to a guy who I thought was my soulmate and the person for me, but he wasn't. I was going to school to get my RN. In fact, just finishing up the last few prereqs, and then I was going to go into the program to get my RN license. But I've been working as a nurse, an LVN nurse, for like the last 11 and a half, 12 years, and have done all sorts of stuff. And then, so I was working 2 part-time jobs, going to school, being a mom, holding down the household, and, but living life, and I was happy. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I got really sick, and this was April of 2015. I got really sick, a respiratory infection, and it lasted forever. It wouldn't go away, and it kept getting worse. And then all of a sudden, I woke up one morning after having the respiratory infection for about 3 weeks. Still had it. And my face, like everything on my body was like puffy. My hands were puffy, my fingers were numb. I just felt really weird, and just walking a few steps winded me, and that's not like me at all. I couldn't climb up the stairs at home, nothing. So I told Jose, my fiance, I was like, I don't feel right. I can't, I can't catch my breath, and, we need to go to the hospital. Something's not right. So he took me to the hospital. They rushed me through the fast track and did a bunch of tests. And because he was a paramedic, he knew everybody at the hospital, so they did us favors, and we didn't have to wait a long time. He got us through pretty quick. But they missed everything. Everything came out, my blood test, blood work, everything came out normal. And then they sent me home telling me I just had the normal flu, and they were going to put me on a Tamiflu and Tylenol with codeine. And then 2 days later, I had to go back to the hospital, and I told Jose, I'm something again isn't right. I'm more swollen. And he was upset with me. He was thinking I was just being a baby. And anyway, so I had my son take me back into the hospital at Merced, same place. And I had a 7-pound weight gain in the last 2 days. And but they again say your blood work, everything's fine. You just got a cold or a respiratory infection. You have to, wait it out, continue taking your Tamiflu. And I said, no, I'm a nurse. I know something's wrong. I have edema in my legs, and 7 pounds weight gain in 2 days is not normal, and especially not for me. And I go, and I'm not even eating. And then, sure enough, they still discharged me, not knowing what was going on. And then I took it upon myself to go to a different doctor, like a clinic, an urgent care, and I told him what was going on. And he right away noticed, there was edema, and, everything about me wasn't looking right. And he thought I was going into acute CHF. Congestive heart failure. So then he right away referred me over and sent me to Turlock Heart, which is where all the cardiologists were in my area. This isn't all in California right now where it's taken place. And then they admitted me to the hospital, and I was there in Turlock at Emmanuel. It was a great hospital. I was happy with my care. But they still couldn't find anything on what was wrong. They did all sorts of testing, rheumatic fever, all those things. And still, they couldn't figure it out. And then, so they discharged me 5 days later. I still went home, still feeling the same. And then went to see my regular doctor, and then she referred me to a rheumatologist. And, all these steps are taking place within a month or two of each other. And then when I went to see the rheumatologist, he sent me for more blood work. And then in June of 2015 is when he diagnosed me with scleroderma. I didn't know anything about it. I had no idea what it was. He really didn't tell me anything about it. He just said, you need to protect your hands and stay active and stay out of the cold. And I said, okay, and I didn't realize the effects it was going to have on me. And come to find out, the type I have is systemic scleroderma, and mine was very rapid and aggressive. So during this time, since we finally found out what it was, my fiance who I thought left me and wouldn't do anything for me. He resented me for everything, for being sick and just not being able to do anything, that I wasn't getting better. And you tell me, Crystal, this is too much, you're a burden. You're just feeling sorry for yourself. You need to shake, you need to snap out of it. You're strong, you work out. You need to snap out of it, Crystal. You're weighing me down, you're a burden. I can't handle this. And I'm like, I just need your support. I don't need you to do anything. Just help me through this. I'm scared. I don't know what's to come of it. And he read up on it too, and he just, over the last month was just, over the last few months up until September was just really mean to me. He couldn't stand to look at me. He didn't want to help me with nothing. He got aggravated. He's always used to having this, girl in his arm. I was in shape, and, I had a career, and he was proud of that. And to him, he didn't have that no more. And he got on me because I had gained some weight, because I just couldn't work out no more. I laid around all the time because I was constantly fatigued, didn't feel good, and I was in constant pain. My son, when he would come and see me all the time during the week, and my son Christopher, my oldest boy, and he would do things for me, and we'd hang out, and just be with each other. But by the time September came around, I wasn't getting nowhere with doctors in California, and I decided, well, my parents called me up and said, why don't you just move out here? We'll get you to see some, doctors, see what we can do, and at least Mom can help take care of you. And so that's what I did. I left the house in California that I was living with my fiance because, for one, he didn't want me there. He just couldn't take it, He kept telling me I was a burden, and the last weekend, in fact, the weekend I left, he wanted to go to a wedding and party, and he said he needed a break, and I said, well, can I go to the wedding with you? And he's like, no, I can't deal with, your shit anymore, Crystal. You bring me down. I feel like shit. I need this. I need to go and, party, get this out of my system. And I was like, wow, okay. And, that hurt me. It hurt me really bad, and so I left. So that part of my life was over. And I had to leave and be away from my kids. Now I'm in Texas, and I've been away from them for 2 years now. And I try to see him, when I can. I did go out to California this last Christmas, and I was able to see my boys and my family. We spent Christmas with my cousin Erica and her husband and girls and my Linda. And it was, the best Christmas I've ever had. And I got to see my boys too, and it just wasn't about gifts and material stuff. It was about, being with people that you love, really love, and just appreciating their presence, and that's all that mattered. And that's what our Christmas was. It really showed me what family is really, truly about. Real family that cares about you. One thing that hurt really bad, and I know people are going to get mad when they see this when I say this, but I had made arrangements, and I'd asked my dad, Sal, over and over again, until Christmas got there, you sure you don't have plans for Christmas Eve? I wanted to surprise him. What are you going to do? And he kept telling me, oh, nothing, we're just going to be here at the house. And so my son took me over to see him on Christmas Eve and to surprise him. He didn't know I was coming. And turned out, he was startled, and happy to see me, of course. And, I went into the house, sat down, and visited for a little bit, but they ended up having to leave because they had dinner reservations made already, and they had to go. It was going to have to, I only got to visit with them for less than an hour, because they had dinner reservations. And to me that hurt because it took so much out of me to get to California, the drive. I got really sick over it, my body did. And that was number one things I wanted to do was to see my dad and surprise him. And he could have stayed. He could have said no, told his wife, go ahead, you go, and I'm going to spend some time with my daughter. But that's not the way it happened, and it's unfortunate. Towards the end of my visit in California, he did come and see me a couple times and spent some time with me in my hotel room. And then, of course, we came back to California. But with the doctors that I've seen here, out of all the doctors that I've seen in Texas since this has happened, There's one doctor that I went to and my insurance didn't cover it. Her name was Gail Beaver. And out of all the doctors, she is the only one who has touched me, physically touched me, and has really tried to go the extra mile to, find other doctors to see me and do what she can do within her realm of practice to make me feel better and refer me out to others. She's the only one. Gail Beaver. She's a nurse practitioner, and she's the most wonderful person I've ever met. And if anybody else is ever gifted to be able to see her, it's a blessing. She is truly a blessing. So thank you, Gail, if you see this, for everything that you've done. Now it's been 2 years since I've been diagnosed, and it's been a rough road. I've gone to doctors, in Houston, and specialists in Houston, and all my doctors have told me, the specialists, that, I need a stem cell transplant to help either reverse the disease or put it into remission or help me get somewhat better. And unfortunately, the insurances that I've had do not cover the stem cell transplant because for scleroderma, because it has not been approved yet by, I believe it's the FDA. So that's why I've been having trouble finding coverage. And to pay cash for it in Houston is $948,000, and they wanted $400 and something thousand up front. And I still haven't been able to get to Chicago because just for the consultation there, they want $30,000 up front. So, it's still trial and error with the insurances, and I've been trying to do my own thing on the side and try to earn money and raise money through fundraisers and stuff to put towards my stem cell transplant. But it hasn't been easy. Dr. Mossbecker, he's my rheumatologist, he's been pretty good with, he does know a bit about scleroderma, what it does, and what I'm up against, and everyone keeps telling me, yours is aggressive, it's just an aggressive form of it, and that I need to just, be prepared, and but I don't accept that. I am going to get better. I truly believe in my heart and soul that I'm going to get better. I don't believe in giving up. I don't believe in just throwing my hands up and waiting for the next doctor to tell me what's going to happen. On my own, I'm fighting. I'm fighting hard. And that's what you have to do with a disease like this. You just have to fight hard and not give up. Have support, your family, and I have great support. Here in Houston, I have my mom and Wally. And my cousin Erica, who I speak to almost on a daily basis, who's just been enormous strength for me. And her girls, Amber and Taylor. Bruce, I love you guys. And my mom has just been just remarkable throughout this whole process. The amount of work it takes just to take care of me, and not only that, emotionally what it does to us all as a family as a whole. It's really hard, and she just stands tall, and she puts on her happy face and tells me we're gonna do this, Crystal. We're gonna beat it, and we are. I want to thank Giovanna DeSarden. She has scleroderma. I met her about a year ago, and she's a fighter. She's amazing, and you're just an awesome person, and I'm amazed with the work that you do and what you put out there for all of us, and all of those who have scleroderma. You know, it's amazing what you do. Thank you. And my boys, I want to thank for them being strong and understanding throughout this process. And my brother and his wife Naomi, thank you. I love you guys, and here I am. I'm still fighting. I may not have hair. I got a funny scar. This scar right here, I got, when was it? January 1st, coming back from California from our Christmas trip. My body was so weak. I got out of the car. I didn't realize how weak I've become from sitting around for so long. My legs just gave out, and I went face first in the concrete. So that was my New Year's. Bang. I really ring the bells. There you go.
What up?
None. I love you.
I love you too, honey.
So anyway, that is my my story so far with scleroderma. And with just the whole thing. It's changed my life. But a lot of things for the better. I'm very blessed and thankful for the people that I have in my life today. So to all of you who are out there with scleroderma and you don't know which way you're going, or you just feel like giving up, don't. Because there is a cure out there. It's coming. There is a way, and we're all together. We're going to fight it, and we're going to conquer it. So take care.